So when I was about 8 years old, I drowned in a river in Idaho. A 13-year-old boy brought me back to life he had no training whatsoever. And I believe that was Jesus. So I started following Jesus at that point for a while, and then as I grew up, things happened in life. And I fell into the wrong crowd. I ran off and I joined the carnival. I worked at the carnival for 43 years. While I was there, I was strung out on drugs, and I was hooked on heroin for 18 years. And in 1993, the carnival business blacklisted me so that I couldn't work because I was too strung out on drugs. So I went to Seattle and got clean. And while I was there, I fell back into drugs and got to where I wanted to kill myself and was going to step off a building. And God sent someone to save my life. I got 18 months under my belt, and then I decided to move to California, and once again I fell back into drugs. And once again I got clean. I went back to the carnivals and I stayed clean. So in 2017, my girlfriend and I decided that after she'd been with the carnival for 20 years, and I'd been with them for 43 years, that we needed to retire and do something else. So we packed up our trailer and our dogs and our truck and everything we owned, and we were going to go on a tour of the United States or see what else was out there. And we made it as far as Tennessee, and this is where we stopped. We came on vacation and we're staying for the duration. In December of 2021, I went to the hospital in Morristown, Hamlin with my second AFib event. While I was there, they shocked me back into sinus rhythm. They took me in the CAT scan room, gave me a CAT scan, and they come running out and said, "We don't know how you're alive." I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "You have a 25-cent piece on your left lung that you're breathing out of. The rest of your lungs are black." He says, "You have COVID and double pneumonia, and we're going to put you in a coma on a ventilator." Didn't know who I was or where I was from or anything. And they sent me to do my physical therapy. And after a couple of days, I picked a day out on the calendar and I said, "You see that day on the calendar?" And I said, "Yes," and I'm walking out of here. And they said, "It's not physically possible." I said, "You don't know my God. My God can do anything." On the 17th of February, with the help of a cane, I walked out under my own power. The week before Easter, I was driving in Jefferson City, and I drove by the Love Week giveaway for gasoline at Food City. And I don't know if you've ever been slapped upside the head by God, but he slapped me upside the head and said, "Boy, you better get back there and get what I got planned for you." So I turned around and I drove back and I went there and I ran into Carol Money. And we talked and she got me and invited me to come to church. And I came to church on Easter Sunday, 2022. When I walked into the church, I thought, "Oh man, this is one of those staunch churches, where the pastor's got wingtip shoes and a three-piece suit." And boy, was I surprised when the pastor walked out in a jean jacket and red Nikes and preached like no man I ever watched preach before. I made a decision, a rededication of my life, and they gave the thing of telling us about growth tracks, and I went, "Man, I got to do that." See, I've been looking for something all my life, someplace to belong, someplace to feel a part of, and I found it here at the Avenue. I did the growth tracks, and I went straight over to the pantry. Mostly I take care of the cooler. I pack all the boxes, the fresh boxes, and I do it to the best of my ability. Most people don't see me because I'm behind the scenes, but I wouldn't have it any other way. After I'd been here about a year, I only had 30% of my lungs after COVID. And I went up front, and Walt and the pastor, they all got together and they prayed for my lungs. and I had a appointment to go to the specialist that week. When I went to the specialist, he said, you can quit doing all them inhalers. He said, you can quit doing that CPAP machine, you can quit doing all that crazy stuff. He said, your lungs are good. That's the power of God. Yeah. He healed my lungs. He healed my life. That's a big thing. It kind of just touches you right here in your heart, you know. The one thing I can say about the Avenue is that people here care. It's not just something they put on for a day. It's something they put on for a lifetime. And that's what makes the difference. A place to belong.